very next hand the straddle's on, T1000 raises to 500. We're mostly going to be 3-betting or folding. Pocket 10s is good enough to 3-bet. I re-raise to 1500. Goofy's on the button with Queen 9 suited. He wants his play at the table to be congruent with his name. He cold calls the 3-bet. Brown Baller decides to run the same play as he cold calls the 3-bet as well. T1000 is getting over 5-1 on a call. He's not jumping ship. He calls for 1,000 more. We're going 4 ways to the flop. Let's all think really hard about one that would create the most action.
And there is the set. The case 10 for Brad, 2 pair for Goofy, and the flush draw for both T1000 and Brown Baller. The dream flop for action.
I flop middle set, feeling mostly good about it, but somehow everyone absolutely smashes it. Still, we're in relatively good shape with over 50% equity. Goofy's sort of in no man's land after seeing me bet 4,000 into the group. He's not sure if his top and bottom pair is good. He just calls. Under the gun calls with his middle pair and flush draw. Under the gun +1 also has a massive combo draw with a gutter, 1 over, and a flush draw. He calls. I'm perplexed at the action so far, but I know if we don't get a blank, we're going to have to tread lightly. There's 22,000 in the middle. If we can win this, we'll be in pretty decent shape. The turn is the Jack of Hearts. It's the worst one imaginable, completing the flush draw, putting 4 to the straight on board, and improving pocket jacks, which is a hand that each of the opponents might play this way up to this point. Under the gun does something Fred Rogers would never do and sets a trap for his neighbor. I already know that our 3-10s are no good. Under the gun +1 bets 16,000. Even with implied odds, I can't call with hopes of the board pairing. I fold almost immediately. Goofy folds as well. Under the gun and under the gun +1 get it in for a $90,000 pot with the king high flush drawing stone dead. The river is the deuce of hearts, but it doesn't even matter. It's an absurd turn card. If the run out was better, I could have doubled or even tripled up. Instead, the 2 sets I made today have resulted in me losing large pots. When you're making sets and losing with them, it's tough to have a profitable session. In this one, we look down at Jiggity's under the gun. I raised to 300. We get 3 callers to go 4 ways to the flop. It comes Queen 9-4 with 2 spades and a heart. We've got the best hand, although it's just second pair and some backdoor draws. Checks to the hijack. He likes what he's got, enough to take a stab, betting 500. Small blind folds is under pair to the board. The big blind folds. Our hand is under repped and could be best. I call. Our opponent gets there on us once again, drilling trips. I check. I don't expect the hijack to have a 9 all that often when he bets the flop with 3 opponents because middle pair is a good candidate to check back in order to get the showdown as cheaply as possible, but Goofy gets rewarded. I don't anticipate the opponent betting the turn very frequently because I don't put him on trips, and often he'll be worried that I might have trips if he has top pair. He bets 1,500 though. I kind of always have a target on my back for people to bluff me. To combat that, I need to call a bit more often than I'd recommend for other people. It's not always going to be correct, but I call again here, drawing slim. The river is the 10 of clubs, the flush draw misses, some straights get there, but we have removal to those. I check to the hijack. He isn't worried about me having the straight. He bets 3,800. I have no idea what to put him on because these Florida guys are doing a variety of unorthodox things. When he bets all 3 streets, he's certainly representing a big hand. It's hard for me to wrap my head around opponents having it at the frequency they're having it against me. I think that I would have gotten 3-bet by pocket queens pre-flop. It's not likely to me that we're up against trip 9s after the opponent bet flop. Maybe we're up against queen 9, queen 10, pocket 4s, or maybe the opponent felt comfortable enough to bet all 3 streets with ace queen or king queen. There's also some chance that we're up against a misdraw. Those top pair, good kicker type of holdings won't want to get raised. I'd probably play queens, queen 9 suited, pocket 9s, pocket 10s, and king jack all similarly up to this point. I rep those and shove for over 14,000 effective, turning our second pair into a bluff. Even if the opponent has trips like he does in this case, he's not going to like seeing the jam because his 3-9s turn into a bluff catcher. All the hands I'm representing have the opponent beat. It just comes down to whether or not the hijack believes that I have the guts to pull the trigger and rip it as a bluff. I'd actually prefer not to have the jack of spades in my hand when making this move, just to slightly increase the odds that the hijack could have a missed flush draw. Goofy doesn't like the spot that he's found himself in, but it's tough to get someone off of trips.
Will this work? I don't think it will, but Goofy considering laying it down, and it does get through.
I was trying to give Goofy a double up to thank him for making the trip to the lodge, but he refuses to take handouts. I kind of respect that, We get the Hail Mary bluff through. We haven't really been able to make money when we've actually had strong hands. If the deck isn't willing to help us out, sometimes we've got to show a little heart to steal some pots in order to stay in the game. We expand the range in this hand with a raise to 500 from under the gun +1 with 9-7 suited. In streamed games, it's fun to play a few more hands than I might otherwise in order to keep the viewers entertained. The hijack calls, we haven't tangled with him in any big pots so far. Airball calls on the button. The big blind calls. Under the gun makes the call as well. We're going 5 ways to the flop. The dealer puts out 8-7-4 with 2 clubs. We've got middle pair and a flush draw that'll put us in big trouble if we hit. It checks to us, although this isn't the type of flop that'll ordinarily connect well with our early position raising range since it contains medium low cards rather than high ones. I bet 1500 because our combo is good enough to withstand a raise, and we have removal to 2 pair and sets, making it less likely that we'd get raised for value. The hijack folds. Airball smashes this flop almost exactly as hard as we do. You can see in the left part of the screen that his equity is slightly higher than ours, even though he doesn't have a pair yet. The button raises to 4000. The big blind and under the gun fold. Now that they're out of the way, we actually see that the equity for us increases to 52%, giving us the tiniest of edges against our opponent. I don't want this pot to get too out of control. I call for 2500 more. Nick might be somewhat perplexed about what we could be holding, but the recurring theme of our opponents improving on the turn happens again as the 6 of spades comes out to give Airball the straight. We at least pick up a higher straight draw. I check. Whatever these guys need, they get. Airball down bets to 3000. There's no way for me to know just how bad shape we're in, but we're getting too good of a price with our pair, flush draw, and open ender. I call. The river is the 3 of spades and luckily not a club. I check one more time. I don't think Airball would bet anything worse than a set or maybe 2 pair, but he keeps firing for another small bet.
That's annoying.
Yeah, Brad can't really fold to 3K.
Trying to see how I could win here.
Airball shows the ace of clubs. Exposed. And a smile.
I mean, I just have a lot of the hands that...
3,000. Just pay it off. You're rich.
The only thing I beat is ace-6, so...
What about like ace-10?
I guess I beat that.
Ace-9.
Ace-9 of clubs. Ace-10 of clubs. Ace-jack of
think
clubs.
you're
Ace-queen
doing
of
that.
clubs. Ace-deuce of
I
clubs.
mean, I have all those hands.
It becomes tough. Tough sell.
Yeah.
Tough sell. The ace-9 of clubs becomes a tough sell.
I wish I was richer.
You could be.
There's a weird spot. I'm getting 6.5 to 1 on a call, but I don't think the opponent would bet 3000 on the river with a missed ace-high flush draw, since that at least has some showdown value since it beats all other missed flush draws. And the way this has been played, it's very likely that I'd have a missed flush draw. Ace-6 suited is basically the same as ace-high in this instance, so I'd expect him to check that back as well. The tough part about this exact spot is that often you'll see players 3-bet with ace-5 suited after an early position raise, so it's not a slam dunk that Airball has a straight after showing the ace of clubs. It's also extremely frustrating folding when we're getting such great price. I lay it down anyway to save 3000. Mo's under the gun with some Broadway cards. Like all high-stakes legends, he takes 1 chip from his stack that's fast approaching 6-figure territory, and he open limps. This gives everyone an opportunity to possibly see a flop cheaply when we're playing hundreds of big blinds deep. Brown Balla calls with 9-4 suited. I'd like to see a flop from in position with 2 suited cards. I call with 7-3 of diamonds. If we make a strong hand, we might be able to double up through Mo since his chips are not on lockdown. The hand before this one, he actually put a big bluff on Airball that was successful. Small blind calls. Airball checks his option. We're going 5 ways to the flop. The dealer puts out Jack 6-5 rainbow. We've got a gutter with a backdoor flush draw. Checks to Mo. He's confident in his top pair. He bets 500, risking less than 1% of his profit for today. The hijack folds. When I limp in, I'm going to have plenty of combinations that connect with boards containing low cards like this one. I could have 6-5 or even pocket 6s or pocket 5s. I might have some jacks as well. Rather than call Mo's bet, I raised to 1500. The last time Mo and I got involved in a hand together, I got 3 streets of value from him with ace-jack. I I know that he generally regards me as a tighter player, so I should get some respect. Small blind and big blind fold quickly. Mo calls, indicating that he likely has at least a pair. The turn is the ace of clubs, which I somewhat like seeing because it downgrades all Mo's pairs unless he happened to have turned 2 pair, but he probably would have raised with ace-jack offsuit pre-flop. Mo checks. I'm going to continue repping 2 pair or better. I bet 2,700. Mo's having a tough time with this decision. He doesn't want to let go of his jack. After tanking for almost a full minute, Mo calls. My sense is that the opponent was debating between a call or a fold rather than a call or a raise. I sense weakness. We might be able to get him to fold on the river with a little more pressure if he doesn't improve. That's plan B though. Plan A is to drill the 4. The river is the deuce of spades. We're back to plan B quickly since we've got the worst hand possible. We at least have removal to the straight that got there. The opponent checks. I built up some credit at the bank of Mo. It's time to cash it in.
Will Brad continue to tell this story?
11,000?
He is. An overbet, 11,000.
You're
11.
really dead on the turn. I had ace jack. You had jack 3 on 8855.
Biggest hand I ever had.
You got the ace, yeah?
And Brad's going to win and show the 7 high. And there's the smile from Brad.
Mo, you started a war, buddy.
Mo gets bluffed this time.
Mo showed airball a big bluff in the hand right before this one. I avenge airball and show here because I actually want Mo to have this in his head for future hands that we get involved in together, so maybe he'll pay me off when I actually have it. It might induce him to try the same type of wild bluff attempt that he pulled against airball also. If Mo thinks that I'm nitty, it'll be tougher to win big pots against an opponent like him, so it's important to show that I'm willing to play some trash hands pre-flop and pull those big moves post-flop. We get another round of the Nick game going with the straddle to 200 also on. Mo calls the 200. A similar pattern ensues with a lot of subsequent limping. I call the 200 with king 10 offsuit in the big blind to avoid reopening the pot. The straddler checks his option. We go 5 ways to the flop. It comes king jack deuce with 2 spades. We've got top pair and a backdoor straight draw. Checks to Mo. He bets 500 with second pair. The button and small blind fold. I don't see too much value in raising at the moment. I call to keep worse hands in, like jack 10 for instance. Under the gun folds. It's down to heads up. The turn is the king of diamonds giving us trips. I check to the aggressor on the flop. Mo thinks his hand could be best. He bets 1,500 for value. To his credit, I can have some flush draws, straight draws, or even worse jacks sometimes, but not this time. I check raise to 5,000. With me showing the bluff to Mo in the previous hand that we went over, the seed has been planted that I'm capable and will make moves. Mo doesn't want to get bluffed again. He calls for 3,500 more. I definitely don't want to see a spade come out. The river is the 9 of diamonds. It's not the best card because queen 10 gets there, but we at least have removal to that combo. I'm comfortable continuing to go for value in a situation that's teed up for us, given the dynamics at play between us and the opponent. I bet 10,000, hoping that Mo has the type of hand that he's got, or maybe even a king with a kicker that doesn't play. Mo takes out a bunch of yellow chips to see how much it would affect his stack if he made the call. He's down from the high point, but he still has the most profit out of anyone at the table, while I'm battling to get back to the even mark. This would go a long way in helping me get there. After about 30 seconds, Mo makes the call. We get paid an extra 10,000 that I don't think that we would have gotten if I didn't show the bluff earlier. Mo had revenge mode activated, and we benefit from it to win a $32,000 pot. It was a very rough start to the day. I was down about 40,000 at the low point. I kept my head on straight to the best of my ability. The big bluff attempts all worked. I chose my spots and opponents carefully based on my perception of them and the type of player I think they perceive me as to limit the damage and escape with only a $13,450 loss.